Yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for playing. I really had a good time jamming this for you all. Thank you so much.
Cool. I'll take the wheel. I'll take the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. So I wanted to start off at the top. Neon, so glad to actually get to finally play in a game with you GMing fully and everything. It's so good, so fun.
Yeah, and, thank you.
It was nice to get a fuller glimpse too, because I did play. Earlier I had said that I had never really played, but that is a lie. We played one session together, also of this system, and it was also a blast. And this has been entirely different, but also still very fun. And I just in general really enjoyed how your style is, and it's great to have seen some glimpses, and then getting closer and closer. As in Decall, you pulled a bit of that too, and now just getting the full thing directly, not via stream, not via glimpses as you as a player, but getting the whole thing. Absolutely incredible work. Love your descriptions. Love your characters. I was getting pure joy out of Bijou not actually hating me at all, and this being a dumb one-sided thing Savannah's putting on made just pure joy in my heart. So I really loved that. Wanted to say, Sheila, I really enjoyed your roleplay of Molly. I felt like you did a really good job playing in such a, I guess, natural way as Molly, that it sort of was kind of interesting at times where I was just like, for half a second, I was like, wait, is Sheila talking? It's like, wait, no, Molly is talking so casually and in character that I thought it was just someone talking like normally in a way, like, and I was just like, it's a very specific thing where it was like, you played a pretty collected, chill character and just got into it very well, and then had just, I don't know, I just think that's really cool. I think it's really cool to
thank you.
To just kind of lock that in. Yeah, so big thumbs up for me. Ray, nice work playing a little shit. I enjoyed being able to bounce off. I felt in sync in a lot of ways, where the moment you did something, I was like, I see, you're baiting me. And then just being able to be like, but then my character falls for it, felt so funny. I really enjoyed that. It was just really fun to play off Fifi the entire session, basically, and really get going with that. And Aloha, my guy. Thank you for being a perfect setup guy. Once again, just obviously with the pit there too, but even just like setting up the kind of immature angle with Savan by always just kind of like being a looming authority and pressure kind of there, but also doing the thing I was really hoping that would be able to establish, was just the like, yo, big bro energy was really on point. I loved that so much. The whole like, hey, good job, you did good. It's like, yeah, whatever, thanks. Just
whatever. Swag ever.
And I just kind of loved that so much. So thanks. Yeah, I really appreciate everyone. So thumbs up. Good gaming.
Now I can go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Neon, for running this. I really enjoy this system.
Oh,
and
thank you.
Obviously, with a lot of the stuff we do over on Stabbiness, it's a lot of virtual tabletops. So I really enjoy seeing a system that can flourish in both virtual and also physical media, right? Because I could easily see the combats being set up with like note cards, right? And just like writing down like, oh, the rail on like the top left note card, for example. And then just, if you spend a focus, you can just write down on the note cards, like physically in front of you, to really easily like keep track of the combat and stuff, which is really fun. On top of it, also just being playing cards, which you can find almost anywhere, right?
I really want the tactility of this game to be one of the things that's enjoyed. Even though I'm somebody who often does most of my work in like the actual play space, a big inspiration was like, oh, the joy of making a miniature, not just the process of building and painting it, but it's almost in a very witchy way, like making a little totem to represent you. And when you and your friends all do that like together, and they all share a color scheme or what have you, and it's like your little squad that you've made as a collective, is like one of the coolest feelings ever. And I really wanted a game that that really encourages that energy.
Yeah, it's wonderful, and I obviously I'm gonna buy it when it comes out. And so Sheila, Christian still what I was going to say. You played Minerva very naturally. It was really nice to see. And just like the nonchalant nature of it was great. Just like the sipping of the coffee and this like subtleties of just like, you know, asking about the billboard, even though like you character clearly walked in and probably saw it, you know. It's just this nice, very competent atmosphere where it's just like people can play a competent character but not really sell that fantasy. But I think you really did a good job of it.
Aww.
Ray, thank you for letting me be a stick in the mud. It's one of my favorite things to be a stick in the mud, only to be followed by a character that is absolutely just energetic off the walls. And to play off something like that really helps both characters. So without your character being what it is, I would be lesser. So thank you. And also, Christian, thanks for being a little shit. I know it's hard to do for you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Shady.
I love this little mess that you've made, and just everything about just how you spurred the plot forward due to him being such a mess has really been fantastic, right? Like being the first person to approach the billboard, being the first person to like bring out the phone. It really opened up a lot of chances for Neon to really like go in with the narration and the point of the setting, and also the session, which was really great.
Yippee.
I assume that I'm going last, but I can go now if people still want time.
I got this.
Yeah.
First off, Afro, thanks so much for just getting into the little shit spirit and just really kind of just bouncing off and really working along with that. I'm just really happy with how that rivalry really kind of flourished from the get-go. I feel like sometimes in character creation with certain people, when you don't know them too much, you get to the point where it's like, oh yeah, no, let's be rivals, or like, oh yeah, let's be friends, and then it doesn't really pop up in play. So to have that just be a constant theme and like you know, us goofing around and being good sports about it, like it made the characters work so much more than I could have possibly hoped. So thank you for that. It was awesome. Sheila, I love Molly.
Yeah.
They are fantastic. I feel like with the kind of stereotypes, so to speak, or the very loud personalities that the three of us went for, having someone who is very kind of grounding in that respect, very much kind of the unsung hero in a way, just kind of giving us all the chance to really kind of, you know, lean into things while also being such kind of a powerhouse yourself, because everything you said mattered, and someone else mentioned, but that vibe of just like competency and the playing it straight, kind of creating this just air of just almost power around Molly was just really fantastic. I think you played it really well, and I'm super appreciative. Aloha. Pepper is great. I love being able to see your take on what could have very easily been a kind of an easy stereotype to play into, but just the creativity and the banter between the characters and the way that you kind of made it flow and made it work. It was just really fun to play around, and you are welcome to be my stick in the mud anytime, because that was just fantastic. And then Neon, Nathan, I will jump into whatever you run, because I just adore the way that you think about stories and think about narrative, and the way that you are by far one of the most inclusive and collaborative individuals that I've ever had the pleasure of playing with. And it's just fantastic to actually sit down and get to you know, make stories with you. These people who I haven't really spoken to, I feel like I've had comparable experiences with people that I've known for a few years, and that's all down to both the people, of course, but also the way that you write and create these structures and these narratives and these mechanics, and the way that you play it. So yeah, thanks to everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
I suppose that brings it over to me then. So let's start off with Caster. It's already been mentioned that your characterization of the world and the things within a world are always fantastic. And this game very much fits you because, well, I mean, you wrote the damn thing, right? But, you know, it's so nice to see you working in a space that you made because it is yours. There was a specific moment that stuck out to me as uniquely fitting here, and I don't even know why, but it was when Hurricane was muttering to herself that her name had to do with the drink and not the weather. I was so happy that I was muted because the laugh that came out of me, that was like just the most awful cackle. And it felt like such a perfect little moment of these interactions between these two little shits in such a highly like glossy, bright colored scenario. It just sent me. Christian, your ability to mix in mechanics with the story, specifically because of like the way that you pushed the rivalry into the forefront immediately with zero prompting and found a way to work it in, was brilliant. And there were a lot of examples, but that was the one that stuck out to me the most. I appreciated the fact that you were able to find a character hook and actually attach it to something that was happening in the moment, and make it important to the story. Just great stuff. Aloha. Really fantastic choice with making it mechanically difficult for your own character to understand the sword's advice. Like, I love it when people are able to craft characters that do that and do similar things of like, oh, this is something that my character, you would think from just the aesthetic or from like just the outside view that this would be a thing that they're good at. But making those things more difficult often leads to more interesting situations, and I love it when people do that. So thank you very much for doing that. Also, just the inclusion of the sword in and of itself is just as like a thing that this isn't necessarily mechanically supported by the system, but you included it and found a way to make it like uplift the system in an interesting way. Very cool. And Ray. Holy crap, Fifi is just such a wonderful chaos character, and I am always astounded when people can make a chaos character fit into a party without making it a problem. So that was extremely, extremely skillfully done. Thank you very much for bringing that energy.
Oh, yes. I rub my hands together like a fly. It is my turn to be nice to everybody. Aloha. I mean, thank you for letting me voice your cursed sword. I appreciate the opportunity.
Anytime.
I'm glad that kind of, because I don't necessarily consider myself to be a comedy performer by any stretch. So I'm like, the opportunity to be a character that is just there to be kind of like, I'm pushing the story along, but also I'm awful, is really fun to do. But also I really liked how you the parts of the mechanics that you really wanted to like forefront to drive your narrative along, like highlighting like, oh yeah, these are what my gear does and the way that works. Your mind on the like, oh, I could use my tempo to just like destroy one of the obstruction tokens, and I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I didn't consider that in the writing, and I don't know whether I would type that out explicitly, but I think that's a wonderful like creative way to demonstrate how you can use like a device in a tactical sense, but also in a really cool narrative sense, and how you kind of justified in the story of that working was so great. I love that kind of creative puzzle solving in RP. Sheila, this is the first time I've heard you do this character voice in like a game. She's very handsome. Molly Minerva is so handsome. Goodness. It was so casual and easy. She's friends with Tilda Swinton. It's like Astounding. I love that. But also I really enjoyed the conversation that you had with the pulse with your turf afterwards, and kind of like, what does being part of a community mean to Molly, and it's putting in the work. Which is actually, I think, a really nice and interesting answer. Because yes, all of you work in a kind of like work in the same business, and Pepper, being second in command, has to do a lot. But Molly is so much about, no, it's about the effort that you put in. Mm-hmm. And then when push comes to shove, that's the first answer that you drive, and is like, oh, I really get how Molly operates. And yeah, every big production needs somebody like Molly to be able to do that role, or shit falls apart. So it's like really, really cool to see that. I'm so glad I got to play with you again, Ray. It's been forever. This is a kind of character style that I hadn't seen you do previously. I think most of the times the characters have been quite relaxed, so this one is being super high energy. And like, when I was kind of getting the art for this for Fifi done, and kind of explaining to Lou that, oh, like, this character is girly pop but not diva, like there's that fine line between, and what is and isn't that character. And part of that was just not giving her like dagger fingernails, but also I think the way that you played Fifi in a kind of like, I'm gonna say something that is mean, not because I want to personally do you harm, unless it's Siobhan, fuck them. But I'm saying this thing because it's at the forefront of my mind, and if it causes chaos, oh well, is like such a specific way to play that character. And I really enjoyed that kind of like fine line of we're mean but in a way that's funny, and it doesn't kind of pull away from the narrative we're trying to tell. And that's quite artful and a skillful thing to do. Christian, thank you again so much for playing with us, and I'm glad that we can have because when you play with people especially for kind of like long sessions, it's like, well, I also want to kind of give back in my own way. You spent so much time GMing for me, I want to be able to kind of get like with my training weights off in limitless maximum RP mode, give you the Nathan Blades tabletop RPG experience for the nightmare that it is. And I'm glad you enjoyed it. I really liked Siobhan's angle of being that kind of like super punchy. I really enjoyed that back and forth that we got to kind of have in the nature of Bijou, who I knew was somebody who looks smug but is internally awkward. But the way that you set that up was like, oh, and I get to like really lean in and in mentioning this kind of like facet of the character. You've given me opportunities to really demonstrate how Xena City works for people who get to tune into this, get to kind of see the lore that I have to write down in this fucking book made real. And I'm glad that you were so enthused and kind of involving in the world that way. Yeah. Fuck yeah. This is going to be, I'm in the process of editing this and putting it together again. I'm really, really excited of people being able to see this in the world. One last thing before we stop the recording and I let you all get back to your evenings. What did you feel about the system? Was there a part of the system that you particularly enjoyed? Now that you've had a good chunk of time with City of Espers, are you stoked to poke at in the future, assuming you would want to play the game again?
I've got my comment. It's the thing that I most love about the system, and I adore how it is a strategic action to eat shit at some point. It is a strategic action to basically go, all right, I've drawn 5 cards. I have 2 good ones, 3 bad ones. I'm going to figure out where it is most character appropriate to fail so that I can get my good cards there and then re-roll. And that's just awesome. I love that part.
I really love the much. I intentionally fail this parkour and stay where I am. I'm like, ooh, bold move. I love that.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the teamwork aspect of it. The last encounter, it was really fun due to the fact of the snowball of just like everyone's turns in succession leading to like the end result of just like Fifi using a support ability in order to give tempo to Pepper, who then used it to get rid of the difficulty, which then, Savon ramped up, covered the thing in order to give Minerva the chance to talk to the, the entity. Is just kind of like a string of events that is really great because a system should encourage teamwork.
Yes, very much so. It's one of those big things that in a game there's like, oh, there's no teamwork rules here. Bad. Is a thing that crosses my mind a lot, so I definitely am glad that, because it could just be, oh, there's a teamwork check that the game has, and technically this game could have that. I think in one of the original rules it did have that, but the fact that there are much more nuanced and complicated ways for you to be able to set things up for other people is a thing I really want, so I'm glad that that's panned out that way.
Yeah.
I think that the use of a shared deck of cards is always an interesting thing to do as a resolution mechanic. And this kind of bounces off of that idea of picking and choosing where you are going to intentionally fail. And thus kind of keeping track of, okay, well, I know what cards I've got and what cards other people have played so far. And I feel like this adds opportunities to get really deep in the weeds of planning out, intentionally handing off moments to other players and going, okay, well, I know somebody in the party has to have this, statistically speaking. And you could create really interesting and dynamic moments of, all right, if I eat shit here, that's going to give most likely this person an opportunity to use this ability. And even if you're not sharing what hands each other has, it's a great way to set each other up. And I know that that's kind of been said already, but I do think that is a really, really cool option, that guaranteed results without really having a guarantee of the results.
I think I'll kind of just piggyback over what's been said here. The strategy behind something, the strategy of something as simple as 5 cards in your hand, and just knowing that other people have 5 cards in their hand, and even you maybe have 5 cards in your hand. Just, it's such a simple layer to comprehend, but it's such a like you can take it as deep or as shallow as you want to, right? You could just be like, right, I'm just going to think about my cards and nothing else. Or as it's kind of been mentioned, you can start card counting and seeing what's being played and kind of keep track of the deck in that regard. I really like that failing isn't really failing. It's something that we had talked about a little bit before as a group, but with dice systems and other such systems, there is a risk that you kind of burn a resource, or maybe you do something and it doesn't work, so you kind of just do nothing for your turn. So this kind of this removes it, because as Sheila has said here, like, okay, yeah, I'm failing, but 1, I'm handing the spotlight over to someone else, and 2, I'm actually strategically stacking the odds in my favor, as was proven by the parkour check. So I really like that. On top of the teamwork, on top of the strategy behind it, I just really like that there's no such thing as a wasted turn. I think that's a very big thing for me when it comes to design.
Oh, yeah. And weirdly enough, even though this is the game I made, but the opportunities to be able to playtest it are limited. It's one of the reasons why I'm excited about the pre-release version being around, because I can have people who aren't in my head thinking about how they run the game and what they do and don't want to see. And the narrative side of stuff, I've played a lot and can kind of get that working, but I was really kind of concerned about how fun or engaging like the action sequences could be. And I'm feeling it feels like it's working quite well. Like the way that the skateboard recording scene kind of like played out, still got to kind of think about what you're doing and things like that, and it still ended up being fun, but also not too bogged down in taking too long, because that's the other side of it, where I want the action sequences to play relatively quickly. Weird to do that while also having to kind of look at a clock of how long the recording is going. And obviously in general play, that's not going to be the case, but I'm glad that kind of shook out. I do apologize that I didn't open as many opportunities for you to use your specific psychic powers. I'm glad everybody got to have fun, like even without having to be like, I didn't get to use resonance or whatever. We did a whole like artwork for Savan's like mental construct, and I apologize to not really have built an opportunity to use that sensibly.
No, it's okay. I was probably going to use it if I drew a diamond 10 up. I just never did draw a diamond 10 up, so I just didn't like really get to use it there, so it's fine.
It is the kind of flip side of having the abilities be quite locked to suits, which feels like that was a thing I definitely did want to do. Like, it can't be as easily done as some of the other bits and pieces. But yeah,
I think a good thing to like think about adding is the ability to pass a card to a teammate. Right? Due to the specific suites, it's fun to be able to be like, well, I know my ally has an ability that triggers off a diamond 10. I don't. So being able to spend one of your actions to pass the card over to an ally within like a close range or something, I think would be very interesting.
Yeah, and it gives a good friendship tempo ability as well. Like, it's something that you can do and would take an action, but if you're friends, it doesn't take an action or something like that.
Yeah.
And then if
or
it's
if
rivals,
you
you take a card from them that you don't get to see or something like that.
Oh, that's good too. Yeah.